Hey, it's Amy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm obsessed with my mug. It's my favorite color and it's awesome. Fall is over and snow is on the ground, or sometimes not, and it's time to now pull out your warmer winter running gear. If you struggle with what to wear for winter running, and trust me, I still do too at times, which is funny because I've run in the winter for many years, but my hope is that this video will give you some ideas as I share some of my favorite winter running clothing and accessories. So let's talk about winter running. So I thought I'd start from the bottom upwards. So of course you have to wear shoes to go running. To be honest, I do own a pair of winter running shoes, but I do not wear them. I think I wore them maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, but yeah, it's like not something that I pull out often. Maybe if I had a nicer, newer pair of shoes, I think the Nike React foam, and they're like the Odyssey, which is like super old. I got them really cheap, and it is nice to have, like they're water resistant, but the foam, I just can't get on board with React foam anymore. It's just too hard for myself personally. To share a secret, you don't actually need a winter running shoe to run in the winter. It might be nice sometimes, as I said, to have a waterproof shoe or something that's like, you know, a lot of shoes are like really mesh or breathable in the top, which is great in the summer, but not in the winter. You can totally get away with a non-winter running shoe if you put a winter sock in it and if you just choose your shoe carefully. For example, I would never run in my Hoka mucks, as they're just like no grip on the bottom. Like there's just like no extra traction or anything, so you would probably slide, or I would definitely fall over in that shoe. So the shoes that I typically go towards for when it's snowy outside, and again, nothing's gonna protect you from like pure ice, not even winter running shoes, like unless you have like picks or lugs on the bottom, or those things that go for your shoe. What are they called? They have like the yak track. Anyway, that go over your shoe. Nothing's gonna protect you from ice. So I'm sorry, just be careful of ice. But if you look in the bottom and just choose a shoe that has some sort of grip or traction, you should be good to go. As I was saying, the shoes that I typically go towards are the Hoka Clifton. I have the 8 right now. I ran the 6 like a couple years ago, and that was like my main go-to long run shoe in the winter. It was awesome. It was also pure white. It wasn't white by the end of the winter. So the Hoka Clifton, and I also have been wearing the 1080 from New Balance. That has a pretty good grip on the bottom. And another shoe that I've been using for speed workouts, actually, I just got, is the Run Shield by Saucony, the Speed Run Shield. So I'm super pumped to have a speed workout shoe that also is like water resistant and like my feet won't get too cold in, so that's really exciting. I wore them the other day and they were really nice. Like at first they took me a little to get used to, as the upper isn't quite as like, it's not stiff, but it just was a little different than what I'm used to in just my regular running shoes, as again the top doesn't have mesh, but it was really comfortable, and again, I love the speed, so it was really great to do my workout in, and my feet stayed dry. Puma running shoes actually have an amazing grip on them. Like I don't have any Puma shoes anymore, other than my speed workout shoe, but again, it has a really like mesh top, so I wouldn't wear that when it's like -10 outside, but I love the Puma grip, and yeah, they're really grippy. For the most part, the only time my feet have gotten cold is when I've stepped into a big slush puddle and it's really cold outside, and like it went above my ankle, so not even a winter running shoe would have saved my foot at that time. So that was the only time I remember running and like my feet were just like blocks of ice, and I just went home because it was just so cold. As I mentioned, I love the Stance merino wool socks. They are thin, breathable, but also keep your feet warm. You can also get a couple of runs out of them, which is nice before washing them, which helps prolong their life, which is always a nice thing because they're not cheap. I have a pair of Asics winter running socks. They're just a little bit bulkier, so if you have a shoe that's a little snug, I probably wouldn't wear them in it, as your toenails might not like you after your run. Oh, I sound congested. We've been sick this whole winter break, and it's just, I'm over being sick, and my running, I had to take several days off, and it's just not been fun, so I'm sorry that I sound so congested. If you don't have winter running socks, then I would just wear socks that go over your ankle, because you don't want any skin exposed, especially if it's super cold out or below freezing. Save your nice anklet socks for the summer. I have several pairs of winter running tights, but I think my favorite are the New Balance, and I think they're the Heat Impact tights, and I'll try to link everything I can below. Some of my stuff is older, so I can't find the exact model, but I'll share what I can below. But these are my favorite because they have side pockets and zipper back, which is amazing. Like, all tights should have pockets. Like, shorts should have pockets, tights should have pockets. You'd be surprised, shocked, how many like especially female article clothing do not have pockets. It's annoying. But anyways, I love these tights. They're lined, like they're not super thick, but they are lined, and they do keep me warm, and yeah, they're really comfortable. And I really like these because they're stretchy. Like, I love tights, but sometimes it's a little restricting. Like, I have another pair of New Balance, but I find the material not as stretchy, so I feel like it restricts my knee lift movement a little bit. And same with a pair of Asics, and the Asics are good, they're lined, but I feel like the waistband is short on them. They're warm, but I just prefer the New Balance tights more. I also have a pair of Segoy tights, which are so warm. Like, I pull those out when it's really cold out. Like, they're very thick, they're very comfortable, but yeah, you would not want to run when it's like just below freezing, because you would be very warm. If you don't want to invest into a pair of winter running tights, then there's this thing called Segoy comes out with bun toasters, and that's basically what it is. Like, it's like thermal underwear for running, which is awesome. So you just put it on, and then you put your tights over top of them, and it keeps from just above your knee to like your waistband warm. And I find actually that's what my like thighs are like bright red sometimes when I get back from a run. So you just have to make sure that your tights aren't too small, that you can fit these underneath. And yes, it's a little bulkier, but I have worn those in freezing runs, and they literally saved my buns. So I wear a lot of long sleeves in the winter, just like any old long sleeve. I have my merino kind of base tracksmith one, which is nice to put like a half zip over above it, but I don't have too many thick tops because I love to layer. Layering is just your best friend for winter running or fall running, or just colder weather running, because you just build upon, like, you have a really good base, and then you can just build on top of that. And that's why I don't own a super thick winter jacket, which I'm going to talk about in a second, is because I just use layers. So I have long sleeves. It depends on how cold it is. I'll do a long sleeve and then a half zip, or sometimes I just wear a t-shirt and then a half zip and then a jacket or vest. Usually if it's just under 0 degrees Celsius, I wear like a t-shirt, like a thinner half zip and then a jacket, and that seems to be a good combination. But this is the time now I wear my t-shirts that I don't really like wearing like in the summer. Like, they're okay, they work, but they're just not my favorite shirts. So this is the time to wear your ugly clothes. So yeah, I love my long sleeve half zips. I've talked about them before, but I have my fall ones, but then I have these thicker ones. Like Asics has a good one. I have like an H1 on them, but I think that means heat, and so it's a thicker half zip. I really find it warm. Again, I pull that out in really cold conditions, and as well as a New Balance half zip, which I can't find like the exact brand of it, but it's from a race we did in Toronto, or in, I guess, in Burlington, the Chile half marathon, and it's just, I love this half zip. I would do the race again just to get that half zip, but it's thick, it's warm and fuzzy on the inside. It's super comfortable. So that's a thick one, and then if it gets really cold out, or you can just wear a long sleeve and that half zip if it's not too cold outside. I love that combination of a thicker half zip with a long sleeve, because then yeah, you don't need a jacket. Which brings me to jackets. I have a couple that I like to wear, and there's New Balance, I think Impact. Again, it's an older jacket. It was actually given to me. It was okay. It was broken. I fixed the zipper, and now I get to wear it, and saved me a lot of money. So I love wearing it. It is lined on the inside, but I definitely don't wear it when it's maybe around 0. Like, it needs to be cold. It needs to be like -10 with several layers, because it is warmer, but it's not very thick or bulky, which is great, as I said, because you layer on, put that on top, and it's perfect, because then you can use these jackets not just in the dead of winter. Like, I have the Segoy one I really like. It's reflective, but it's not a winter jacket, but I make it a winter jacket by what I wear underneath. And I think that's really key, because it's expensive, and buying jackets for just one use, I don't know, I think I'd rather have something that I can wear more than just in the winter, and yeah, it just saves money and it's more practical, and then you just have a lot of stuff either. So my rant is done, but you don't need a thick jacket unless you want one, and then you just maybe wear just a long sleeve underneath it, because you'll probably get really warm, because unless you live in somewhere that's like Thunder Bay where it's like -30 Celsius, like, you might not need the thickest jackets of all jackets. So use your judgment. I always dress 10 degrees warmer than it is actually outside. That's a rule of thumb. You might be cold at the beginning of your run, but trust me, you will heat up. Buffs are amazing. They're so comfortable, and don't own a merino one. I own like some just like general ones, and then I have a thicker one that I only pull out when it's really cold outside, because it's kind of bulky, but it's like fuzzy on the inside, so it really is great for blocking the wind. If it's really blowing snow and cold wind, I pull that one out. But for generally, I just wear my just multi-purpose, that's the word, buff, and that's good for just keeping your neck warm. And if you get warm, as I often sometimes do, overdress, you take it off and wrap it around your wrist, and then you don't have to carry it, so that's nice. But I do like having something just like to block the wind here, or you can put it over your nose because you can still breathe. So buffs are an awesome thing. I don't own a lot of special running hats. I have one by Segoy, and it's purple and it's really pretty, but it's actually not that warm. It's like the ears, weirdly enough, it goes around your ears, but it's not lined around your ears, so you get cold. But it does have a hole for a ponytail, which is nice, because hats often you just have to wear like a braid or just like a low ponytail, which is annoying. But I only wear that when I just want something covering lightly my ears. But in general, I just have a toque that has our Hammers logo on it, and it's pretty thick and warm, which is comfortable. And so you just have to wash it often, because it's not like super breathable, but you just want something to cover your head, because you lose a lot of your heat through your head. Yeah, the Hammer toque, I have a Saucony one which has a pom-pom on it. It's kind of ridiculous, but it does keep you warm. And yeah, so those are a couple options, but it's nice to have something covering your ears especially. The sun still shines and reflects off the snow in the winter, which means you have to protect your eyes. I still wear my scooters pretty much through the whole winter, unless it's obviously dark outside, to protect my eyes. It also is a good way to protect your eyes from the wind, or if it's snowing, though the snow does kind of build up on it, but it really does protect your face. I love my glitter ones because they're not too heavy, and they can fit under my hats quite nicely, and they just protect my eyes. So I can't say much more, but I just think it's still really important to protect your eyes from the sun, even in the winter. Last but not least, mittens. I have the Solomon mittens that I pull out when it's really cold out, and they're lined, and they're super comfortable. And I like wearing mittens because it keeps your hands together, or your fingers together, which keeps them warmer, except for your poor thumb. But sometimes I just pull my thumb out and stick it in the mitten so my thumb stays warm. But these mittens are so warm. Expensive, but warm. If you don't own super thick winter running gloves, then an idea is to get those hand warmer packs to put into your gloves while you run, and that will keep your hands warm. I have friends who get cold hands, and they have like dual layer, like mittens, and then they have like their big ski gloves that put on, and that keeps their hand warm. But whatever works for you. But I thought the hand warming packs are a really good idea to keep your hands warm, and they're not too heavy and bulky, so yeah, a really good idea. I forget who told me that, but I think I might do that if it gets really cold out. I hope hearing about what I love wearing in the winter has helped you, or given you some ideas for what you can wear in the winter. And I'll have links for everything again that I can find in the description below, and the sizing that I got too, so if that's helpful. And just, yeah, like, these are all things I wear a lot, and I like having like things that I can wear multiple times, but some things you just need to get, like, you need to make sure that you have a good like gloves for the winter. It's because of your extremities. And I really highly suggest some winter running socks, especially if you don't have a pair of winter running shoes. They're just game changers for keeping your feet warm. And yeah, tights are really, like, thicker tights are nice, but again, you don't need them. But just having the right clothing, or clothing that you know you'll stay warm in, just alleviates any of the, oh, it's too cold outside, oh, it's just, I don't want to go outside. Anything to make it easier to get out the door is worth it, in my opinion. Winter running is hard, and just anything to make it more enjoyable, like getting a new jacket that's really pretty. You're like, I can't wait to wear this. You have to go running to wear it. So if that helps you, go for it. Anything, again, anything that helps. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're not sick like our family has been for, it seems like, forever. And I'll see you next time.